Well, hey there, everybody. It's Chris from the Rate the Record podcast, and yes, it's a time for another new music review. A bunch of new songs came out, and I chose 3 of them to listen to, and I'm going to give you my thoughts on them. I want to hear your thoughts on them as well. That's how this whole music commentary thing works. That's how I do this all the time at the end of Mars, so we can probably jump into it, but before we jump into it, I'm going to scoot over this way. And while I scoot over this way, I'm going to remind you that if you like what you see and or hear today, you want to support the channel, there are free and easy and quick ways to do it. Like, subscribe, rate, share, comment, and follow. All 6 of those things, a combination of them, or even just one, truly do help out the channel, and the support means the world to me. I like to do this stuff, and your encouragement will only encourage me further. Does that make sense? I bet it does. Anyways, on with the review. So first up on the list today, we have the band Better Lovers. They are a metalcore band out of Buffalo, New York. More or less a supergroup made up of Dillinger Escape Plan, Every Time I Die, and I think there's a couple more in there, I just can't remember who, but I digress. They announced a brand new debut full-length studio album called Highly Irresponsible. They did already release an EP, but this is their first full-length project. It's due out in October, and the first teaser that we've gotten from this project is called A White Horse Covered in Blood. Now this is pretty punchy, it's got a great pacing to it, so like immediately off the bat you get that and it sounds fantastic. But as compared to another one of their tracks that I actually covered, I believe late last year, early this year, I can't remember the name of it, but I think it might have been in December or so, but regardless, this one doesn't have the bite that I was hoping for like the other one did. That other track was a fantastic introduction. This one, not that it's weak, but it just doesn't work as well as that one did. By the way, I'll link it above my head in the card if you're able to click it on the computer or mobile version, doesn't really matter. So if you want to see the other review I did already for Better Lovers, there it is. I feel like the biggest and heaviest parts of this song all come in the final moments, which is actually a really good way to wrap up the song as a whole. But it always feels like you're waiting for that one final peak to come around and hit. And as I was kind of already saying earlier, like of it not necessarily being weak, but not the strongest point, that's kind of it though. You're kind of waiting for this peak, you're waiting for this big explosive moment. It kind of comes to an extent, but I don't really think it quite hits it, so I don't know. You're left wanting a little more. Overall, it's still fun though, don't get me wrong. Just because I have problems with it doesn't mean that I don't like the song. I think it's fantastic. Nothing inherently wrong with this track overall. I'm hoping for something to really grab me when this new album finally does drop, or maybe from the additional singles we may get up to the release of this album. I'd be curious to hear that, and I want to know your opinion too. Do you like it more than me? I'm kind of in the middle about it, but I think I'm more or less leaning to the side of it's pretty good. Coming up next on the list today, we have Arch Enemy, the melodic death metal band out of Halmstad, Sweden, and they just released a brand new standalone single. No album that I could find in the distance, but who knows, one may come from this. But regardless, this song is called Dream Stealer. This is just really heavy and fast and intense. I love the vocal performance on this too, throughout the entire track, the growling and the screaming. I believe there might be some lines of clean singing in there if I remember correctly. Off the top of my head, I can't remember, but regardless, whatever I heard, I did enjoy in this track. And let it be known that I've not listened to Arch Enemy before. I've been well aware of them, so if there's anything better than this, then, which is possible, I guess, I'm not aware of it, but I like what I'm hearing here, so this has got to be a good start. I feel like this falls into the territory of power metal and maybe a little bit of like black and thrash metal as well, in certain parts at the very least. It definitely makes the track a lot more fun and exciting with those very fast and aggressive styles being mixed in and everything like that, so I'm enjoying what this is giving me. I was afraid of just this song being like very over operatic in its metal, and I personally am kind of bored by that kind of stuff. I don't really like that kind of metal, so this one definitely took me in a different direction, and I liked where it took me. By the way, I'll put another card above my head for an operatic death metal band, or something of an operatic death metal band, that we did way back in season 2. That was Therion, so you can go watch that card if you want as well. Maybe wait until after this review is done though. Okay, maybe an unpopular opinion this time around, but I mean, I guess I've given plenty of those throughout the lifetime of Rate the Record. I feel like a lot of the brief solo guitar passages that we have like put in through this song and like the fills and everything like that just absolutely kind of missed the mark. Now, don't get me wrong, I like the guitar work in this song throughout the verses and choruses. I think it's all fantastic. That sounds really cool. I just feel like those fills and solos just, I don't know, They don't sound really great, and there's a lot of really try-hard moments too, especially with the overabundance of whammy bends that kind of go all over the place. I don't know. This feel like a lot of the solos and fills I heard in this kind of remind me of things I would hear in my like grade 11 guitar class when people thought they were good metal shredders. And by the way, when I was in high school, that's when like the 2000s metalcore scene was really starting to pick up. So imagine like a lot of kids in that age range, teenagers, trying to learn shredding. Some of them were good, some of them not. So this song feels like it was like someone in the middle of that mix. And by the way, I was on the side of not being good at it, and I will tell you that all day. I'm way more of a rhythmic and atmospheric guitarist, not a lead guitarist, so I couldn't even do what they do on this album, and I don't even like what they did. Not this album, this song. It's just a song, that's it. Overall, I will say it's a pretty good track, though. I still had a lot of fun with it. As I said, it didn't like try to blow out the water with all these like weird operatic parts or anything like that, because whenever you hear melodic death metal or symphonic death metal or anything along the lines of that, I always get a little worried about it. But this one kind of did it for me differently, so I do like that. I would wonder if this does lead to an album down the road, as I already kind of mentioned earlier. If so, I'd be curious to hear it, but as a standalone single, this is actually pretty decent, so I say check it out. And finally on the list today, we have alternative metal and grunge guitarist Jerry Cantrell, best known obviously for his work with Alice in Chains. I don't really think I need to mention that too much because everyone knows who Alice in Chains is, but regardless, he also releases solo albums. He has a new one due out soon called I Want Blood, and he just released the first teaser for it called Vilified. Precursor before I tell you anything about this song. So last time I had to review a Jerry Cantrell song was not on the NMR. It was actually when Savannah was still on the show. I believe it was the 2nd year anniversary. We did one of our mixtape specials where we exchanged playlists on Spotify of songs that we think that we would like, and then we just rated it, that whole kind of deal. Regardless, she gave me a Jerry Cantrell song to review. I can't remember which one it was, but I just remember I didn't like it all that much. It wasn't terrible, but I wasn't a fan of it. So coming into this one, I was wondering, it's like brand new track. Let's just jump into this. I already can't remember that one. So what will this one do for me? Will it be any different? Let's hope so. One thing I'll say right off the bat is his voice still sounds great. Like, I don't think it skipped a beat at all, considering like we've been hearing his voice for decades now. So he still sounds the same. It still sounds fantastic. He's got that great voice, and it fits in so well with this very like low-toned, heavier type of track and this whole style overall. So I don't know. Everything's sounding good so far with his voice, with the music, production spot on. It's nice. I like that this song also kind of diverts expectations as well, and what I mean by that is, like, you know, with a song like this, maybe you'd be anticipating a 4/4 time signature all the way through, which, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. That's the vast majority of music. But I mean, Jerry Cantrell has written in weird time signatures before, and he definitely does it in this song too. There's like moments of 6/8 and 7/8 sprinkled into this track on top of some of the 4/4 moments as well. So that's actually really cool. It adds a little more intrigue to the track and like really makes you listen, because sometimes maybe you think you miss a beat or you're just counting wrong, but it's like, no. I mean, you're probably counting right, but just understand that it's not your typical 4/4. So that's fun. I like that. I mean, I don't know what I was anticipating, but it probably wasn't that. I really still love that he's implementing too those crazy vocal harmonies that he's been doing since like the beginning of Alice in Chains and everything like that. Just the one that sounds like there's like 5 or 6 different voices doing so many different harmonized notes at the same time. He's still doing it here. It's still fantastic. So on a song that can actually feel kind of fresh, you still kind of get that comfortable familiarity about it. So I think that's a lot of fun. I say the word fun a lot too. I need to read a thesaurus or something. I apologize. I need better words. I need gooder words. And overall, it's a solid track. I don't think there's two ways around it. I actually really enjoyed this one. It's heavy. It's a well-crafted, grungy metal kind of song. And I'm definitely curious for the new album whenever it does eventually drop. So until then, I guess we'll have to just wait and see what we get next. Hopefully it'll be this good. Maybe it gets heavier, lighter, who knows? Curious though. I like this one. And that's all I have today for the new music review. So thank you very much for joining me and hanging out and listening to these songs. And if you did indeed listen to these songs, do me a favor, down in the comments below, please let me know what you thought of these songs. Do you like them? Do you hate them? Do you agree or disagree with me? Tell me your opinions on these tracks. I definitely want to hear them, have these conversations with you. That's all a part of this. I don't want to be the only one talking here, so please let me know down in the comments below. You know where else you could probably tell me your opinions on these songs? Over on the social media pages. And don't worry, I don't have to list all of them at once because you can just find them all at ratetherecord.ca. That is ratetherecord.ca. The social media links, the streaming links. You can buy RTR merch there, and of course the RTR Club for $3 a month if you want to support the show financially. It's optional, but the option is indeed yours. Early access to episodes, shout out on social media, request albums for me to do on the show, and probably the quickest and easiest way that you could just like chat up with me if you'd like to as well. Regardless, $3 a month, RTR Club. Check that out, all at ratetherecord.ca. And don't forget, the podcast is indeed back, but chances are you've already been watching it, so that's fantastic. Thank you very much for checking it out. But if not, don't worry. You can go back and check out episode 101 through 108 that I've done so far to bring back the podcast for season 6. This past Monday was episode 108. Brand new album just dropped from legendary prog rock and one of the godfathers of heavy metal, Deep Purple. Yes, they just released a brand new album, their 23rd to be exact, called Equals One. I don't particularly like a lot of new albums from like older legacy bands. Did my opinion change for this one? Is it like run-of-the-mill kind of course for that kind of stuff? You can tune in, find out, and tell me what you think of that album too. And as for 109 next week, I'm not going to go ahead and spoil it right here and now, but on social media for Friday, which is the day after this video comes out, I will always say what the next video for Monday is going to be. I'll give you a little teaser, I guess. You want to talk about bands? We just talked about Jerry Cantrell and Alice in Chains. You want to talk about bands who got big in the late 80s and early 90s and really hit their peak around that mark? Well, I'm doing a band from that particular time, not necessarily grunge or anything, but a pretty big alternative rock band. So if you want to take that in consideration, think about it for a bit, maybe you'll get it. Who knows? But regardless, go back and watch the previous episode. Go back and watch, don't go back, go forward and watch the next one. Don't know if you could tell, but I haven't slept all that well over the last couple of days, hence why I'm a little loopy in this episode. That's fine, because now I'm at the end, so once again, thank you very much for joining me. Maybe I'll go get some rest now. Until then, go listen to some awesome music. Make sure you're watching the podcast, and I'll see you again real soon. Take care, friends.